Here's a more detailed overview of Johann Sebastian Bach's life and contributions. Early life and family background. Johann Sebastian Bach's early life was deeply rooted in music and marked by a series of influential familial connections. Born in Eisenach, Germany, on March 31, 1685, he was nurtured in a family where music was not just a vocation, but a cherished tradition. The Bach family's musical lineage extended across generations, tracing back to Bach, Johann Sebastian's great-great-grandfather, who was recognized as a talented musician. Johann's upbringing was profoundly shaped by the rich musical environment cultivated by his father, Johann Ambrosius Bach. His father held the position of a town musician and was also responsible for overseeing the local musicians' guild. Under his father's guidance, Johann was introduced to the world of music from an early age. He learned to play several instruments, including the violin and keyboard, and was exposed to the works of composers from various traditions. However, tragedy struck when Johann was just 9 years old. Both of his parents passed away, leaving him orphaned and facing an uncertain future. This loss would have a lasting impact on his life, influencing his resilience and determination to succeed despite adversity. Fortunately for Johann, his older brother, Johann Christoph Bach, stepped in to care for him. Johann Christoph was an accomplished musician and composer, and he played a pivotal role in shaping Johann Sebastian's musical development during these formative years. He provided his younger brother with not only a home but also a nurturing environment where Johann Sebastian could continue his musical studies. Living with his older brother, Johann Sebastian Bach was immersed in music more than ever before. Johann Christoph, who was an organist, introduced Johann Sebastian to the organ and further honed his keyboard skills. This period of mentorship and guidance significantly influenced Johann Sebastian's musical direction, helping him develop a strong foundation in keyboard and composition that would later become integral to his own musical achievements. Johann Sebastian Bach's early exposure to music through his family, along with the support and mentorship of his older brother, laid the groundwork for his remarkable musical career. These early experiences instilled in him a deep love for music and a commitment to carrying on the family's musical legacy. As he grew older and embarked on his journey as a composer and performer, Johann Sebastian would draw from these roots to become one of the most iconic and influential figures in the history of classical music. Education and formative years. Under the tutelage of his older brother, Johann Christoph Bach, Johann Sebastian Bach's musical education expanded significantly. Johann Christoph's influence exposed Johann Sebastian to a diverse array of musical styles and traditions, setting the stage for his future as a versatile and innovative composer. Johann Sebastian's education under his brother was well-rounded, encompassing multiple facets of music. He delved into the intricacies of keyboard's performance, mastering both the harpsichord and the organ. This early training laid the foundation for his virtuosity on these instruments, which would become a hallmark of his musical career. In addition to keyboard's proficiency, Johann Sebastian explored the realm of violin playing. He gained a deep understanding of the instrument's expressive capabilities and technical demands, which later translated into his compositions that featured violin parts. This multifaceted training allowed him to incorporate violin elements into his works, showcasing his expertise as both a composer and a performer. Johann Sebastian's exposure to vocal music was equally significant. His studies included voice training, enabling him to grasp the nuances of vocal techniques and the art of choral composition. This knowledge would prove instrumental in his later compositions, especially in his choral works and sacred cantatas. One of the pivotal points in Johann Sebastian's education came during his time at the Michaelis Monastery School in Lauenkortenberg. Here, he further honed his skills and broadened his musical horizons. Lauenkortenberg was a hub of musical activity and exposure to a wide range of compositions from various composers. This environment provided Johann Sebastian with the opportunity to immerse himself in the works of contemporaries and absorb different musical influences. During this period, he would have encountered compositions from German, French, and Italian composers, each contributing their unique styles and techniques to the musical landscape of the time. Johann Sebastian's exposure to these diverse influences fueled his creative imagination and contributed to the eclecticism that characterized his compositions. Overall, Johann Sebastian Bach's early education was marked by a rich tapestry of experiences. His immersion in keyboard, violin, and vocal training, coupled with exposure to a variety of musical traditions, laid the groundwork for his ability to seamlessly weave together different elements in his compositions. This versatile training, combined with his innate musical genius, allowed him to transcend the boundaries of his time and create a body of work that remains celebrated and influential to this day. Early professional life. In his early adulthood, Johann Sebastian Bach embarked on a journey that would see him holding significant musical positions and establishing himself as a skilled composer and organist. His experiences during this period shaped his artistic identity and laid the groundwork for his future achievements. Bach's first notable position was as an organist in Arnstadt, where he served at the new church, New Kirche. This appointment marked the beginning of his professional career, and it was here that he demonstrated his exceptional talent as an organist and composer. His innovative approach to music, characterized by intricate counterpoint and harmonies, began to gain attention. However, Bach's innovative style often clashed with the more conservative preferences of his employers and the church authorities in Arnstadt. His inclination towards complex compositions and his desire to experiment with new musical techniques occasionally led to disagreements. These conflicts revealed a tension between tradition and innovation, a theme that would recur throughout his career. Bach's time in Arnstadt was also marked by a series of compositions that showcased his growing mastery of keyboard music and intricate organ works. Notable among these works is the Toccata and Fugue in D minor, which has become one of his most recognizable compositions. Following his stint in Arnstadt, Bach's career took him to Weimar, where he assumed the role of court musician and organist in 1708. During his years in Weimar, he was exposed to a more cosmopolitan musical environment. This exposure enriched his musical palette by exposing him to a broader range of styles and influences. While in Weimar, Bach composed some of his most important keyboard works, including the famous Brandenburg Concertos. Despite his ongoing creative exploration, Bach faced challenges in finding a perfect balance between his innovative musical ideas and the expectations of his patrons. The tension between his artistic vision and the practical demands of his positions prompted him to continually refine his approach to composition. Bach's unwavering commitment to his craft and his ability to adapt while staying true to his unique style were key factors in his development as a composer. In these early years, Bach's determination to push musical boundaries and pursue excellence led him to develop a distinctive voice that would eventually revolutionize the musical landscape of his time. His experiences in Arnstadt and Weimar laid the foundation for his subsequent achievements, as he continued to evolve as a composer, organist, and musical visionary. Mid-career and key appointments. Johann Sebastian Bach's tenure in Köthen from 1717 to 1723 stands as a remarkable phase in his career, characterized by prolific creativity and a focus on instrumental music. His role as kapellmeister at the court of Prince Leopold of Anhalt-Köthen provided him with a unique platform to explore new musical avenues. During this time in Köthen, Bach's creative output was primarily directed towards instrumental compositions, with an emphasis on solo and chamber music. This period marked a departure from his previous positions that often required extensive choral and vocal compositions. One of the most significant contributions of this period is the set of 6 concertos known as the Brandenburg Concertos, commissioned by Bach's patron, Margrave Christian Ludwig of Brandenburg-Schwedt. These concertos showcase an intricate interplay of instruments within a rich contrapuntal framework. The Brandenburg Concertos are a testament to Bach's ingenious craftsmanship and his ability to weave together diverse instrumental voices into harmonious and innovative compositions. Another iconic work that emerged during his Köthen years is the well-tempered Clavier. This collection consists of 2 sets of preludes and fugues in all major and minor keys, designed to demonstrate the possibilities of keyboard tuning systems. It remains a foundational work in the keyboard repertoire, demonstrating Bach's mastery of counterpoint and his ability to navigate the complexities of different keys. In Köthen, Bach also composed various other instrumental works, including suites, sonatas, and chamber music. The environment at the Köthen court, which fostered a strong focus on instrumental music, allowed Bach to experiment with diverse musical forms and techniques. This creative freedom enabled him to innovate and push the boundaries of his own musical language. Bach's time in Pilkrow then was marked by a strong partnership with Prince Leopold, who shared his passion for music. The prince's support allowed Bach to delve deep into the realm of instrumental compositions and craft works that would go on to influence generations of musicians. While his tenure in Pilkrow then was relatively short, the impact of his work during this period is profound. Bach's explorations of instrumental music not only enriched his own artistic expression but also left an indelible mark on the trajectory of Western classical music. The works he created in Pilkrow then continue to be celebrated for their brilliance, innovation, and enduring influence on subsequent generations of composers and performers. Leipzig years. In 1723, Bach assumed the position of Thomas Cantor at the St. Thomas Church in Leipzig, a role that involved overseeing the music for several churches in the city. This was a demanding position that required him to compose choral music for regular church services, feast days, and special occasions. It was during his Leipzig years that he composed many of his cantatas, oratorios, and passions, including the St. Matthew Passion and the Christmas Oratorio. Compositional style and techniques. Bach's music is characterized by its intricate counterpoint, elaborate fugues, and profound emotional depth. He was a master of combining different musical voices and themes, creating intricate textures that remain unparalleled in complexity. His works often feature the precise interplay of melody, harmony, and rhythm, showcasing his exceptional compositional skill, legacy and influence. Despite being less recognized during his lifetime as a groundbreaking composer, Bach's legacy grew significantly in the years following his death. His works were championed by later composers such as Mozart, Beethoven, and Brahms, who recognized his genius. The revival of interest in Bach's music was largely attributed to composer Felix Mendelssohn, who conducted a performance of Bach's St. Matthew Passion in 1829, nearly a century after Bach's death. Personal life and faith. Bach's deep Lutheran faith played a significant role in his compositions. Many of his works, including his cantatas and passions, were infused with religious themes and messages. He often signed his compositions with the abbreviation SDG, Soli Deo Gloria, meaning to God alone be the glory, as a testament to his devotion. Final years and legacy. In his later years, Johann Sebastian Bach faced health challenges that cast a shadow over his remarkable career. Despite these difficulties, his unwavering dedication to his music and teaching remained steadfast. Bach's health issues were multifaceted, with one of the most significant being his deteriorating eyesight. This ailment not only affected his ability to read and write music but also had broader implications for his everyday life. Despite the physical limitations posed by his failing eyesight, Bach continued to compose, relying on his memory and musical intuition to create works that would go on to become some of his most celebrated compositions. Even as his health declined, Bach's commitment to his role as an educator and mentor persisted. He continued to teach and guide young musicians under his tutelage, passing on his vast knowledge and expertise. His passion for nurturing the next generation of musicians remained strong, reflecting his belief in the enduring power of music to inspire and transform lives. Tragically, Johann Sebastian Bach's journey came to an end on July 28, 1750, in Leipzig, the city that had been a significant part of his life and musical career. His passing marked the end of an era and the loss of a musical genius who had left an indelible mark on the world of classical music. Bach's legacy, however, continued to flourish long after his death. His music, which had been relatively underappreciated during his lifetime, began to garner increasing recognition and reverence in the years following his passing. His compositions, characterized by their profound emotional depth, technical brilliance, and intricate harmonies, captured the hearts and minds of generations of musicians and listeners. As time went on, Bach's influence extended far beyond his immediate surroundings, reaching across borders and cultures. His works became essential components of the classical music canon, studied and performed by musicians of all ages and backgrounds. His compositions laid the foundation for the development of Western classical music, inspiring countless composers and performers to explore new artistic frontiers. Johann Sebastian Bach's legacy endures as a beacon of creativity, innovation, and artistic integrity. His ability to persevere in the face of adversity, his relentless pursuit of musical excellence, and his unwavering dedication to his craft have solidified his place as one of the most revered and influential figures in the history of classical music. Johann Sebastian Bach's enduring influence on music is immeasurable. His compositions continue to be celebrated and studied by musicians, scholars, and enthusiasts worldwide. His innovative techniques, intricate harmonies, and emotional depth have ensured his place as one of the most revered composers in the history of Western classical music.